Good morning. And according to that city data here in Washington, D.C., 85% of D.C. residents, they have received at least one dose of the vaccine. And for the time being, that is the requirement starting tomorrow to get into these venues. They include bars, restaurants, nightclubs, conference centers, and other places. Grocery stores aside, people still obviously need to go out and get their food. They're not going to restrict that. But for more leisurely type places that you don't necessarily have to go to, like restaurants, they will now be implementing that mandate there. So that could obviously hurt those businesses. But as of February 15th, then you'll need to have 2 doses of the vaccine to get into those venues. But this one-dose mandate begins tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. A lot of Republicans here on Capitol Hill have criticized the mayor's mandate, saying that they want D.C. home rule to end and have Congress retake control of Washington, D.C., although Republican leader in the House, Kevin McCarthy, he's not going that far in his remarks, tweeting this morning, quote, "Today's Democrat Party wants you to show a vax card in order to eat at a restaurant, but they don't want you to show an ID card in order to vote." Keep in mind, here in Washington, D.C., last year in 2021, the highest homicide total in 15 years. So crime is a big problem in Washington. Last night, a taxi cab was actually carjacked. And another crime-ridden city, Minneapolis, they're also going to implement a mandate of their own. If you are a child between the ages of 2 and 5, in order to get into one of those public venues, you'll have to have a negative PCR test to show that you don't have COVID. Again, that's for kids between the ages of 2 and 5. But here in D.C., starting tomorrow, if you're 12 and older, you need at least 1 dose of the vaccine to get into bars, restaurants, and other facilities. Back to you.
All right, got to show proof of vaccination. In New York City, you've got to also show a corresponding ID with matching names. Is that the same thing in D.C.?
That is the case. You have to prove that that is your vaccine card, that is who you are, so an ID and that vaccine passport.
All right, photo ID, you got to show it to get into a restaurant here. Logan Ratick, thank you very much.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, where real news for real people.